Welcome to 3-Minute Bible Study on Luke 10 and the Good Samaritan. In verse 25, a lawyer asked Jesus what he should do to inherit eternal life. Jesus asked what he'd read in the law, and the lawyer responded with the fundamental duties of loving God with all your heart, soul, and mind, and loving your neighbor as yourself. Jesus commended the answer and told him to do it. But looking for the limits to that duty, the lawyer wants to know who counts as a neighbor. In verse 30, Jesus responded with the story. A certain man was traveling from Jerusalem to Jericho, attacked by robbers. He's beaten, stripped, and left half dead. As he lay there, a priest comes down the road, but on seeing the victim, he passes by on the other side. Next comes a Levite who does the same thing. Why? Stopping to help would have been messy and trouble. Besides, we don't know anything about him. Avoid eye contact. Keep moving. Not my problem. Now consider and compare these two men with the robbers. The robbers make no pretense of righteousness. Like the bandits in Proverbs 1, they're evil men banded together to shed blood and steal. The priest and Levite, on the other hand, are not criminals. They're men of temple service. And yet, there's something common to all these men. Consider, how did the criminals leave the victim? Half dead. How did the priest and Levite leave him? Half dead. So though we have two varieties of evil here, one active and one passive, in both cases there is a total lack of concern for the man in the road, a callous failure to treat him as one would want to be treated. Now along comes the Samaritan. For background, recall that Jews had no dealings with Samaritans, so as the Samaritan approaches the victim from Jerusalem, he's looking at a man who in better condition might want nothing to do with the Samaritan. And yet what does the Samaritan do and why? Instead of moving away, the Samaritan is moved with compassion. He comes to the beaten man, treats his wound, mounts him on his own transport, gets him to an inn, out of his own personal pocket, provides a place for the victim to recover. Side note, this is not about church-funded relief. Church funds in the New Testament were consistently provided to needy saints within the churches as part of a spiritual fellowship. That was a collective duty. What we see in Luke 10 is an individual, personal, and active duty. And putting a check in the collection on Sunday is not a substitute for personally doing to others as you'd have them do to you, whoever they are. In fact, consider this. What kind of people were the robbers? Selfish and evil. What kind of people were the priests and Levites? Selfish and evil. What kind of person was the Samaritan? Good. And what kind of person was the man in the road? We don't know, and neither did the Samaritan. What he did know was that this dying man needed his help, and moved with compassion, he did for him what anyone would want done for them. Jesus ended with a question. Which of the three proved neighbor to the man who fell among thieves? The lawyer replied, he who showed mercy, to which Jesus said, you go and do likewise. Our neighborhood is not limited to those next door, those who look like us, or those who are good to us. Our neighborhood is to be much bigger than that. For more videos, go to 3MinuteBibleStudy.com.